Songs, music, art. In my eyes, music can be very impactful. There are times where the song just slaps while rocking so hard that you soon become a disassembled bobblehead, or the fact that the lyrics can honestly be the best part of it all. But sometimes songs have hidden messages beneath them, something that can explain feelings of grief, sorrow, or better yet, contemplating your life. And then there are songs where it gets speculated so much to the point where it can kind of change people's lives for better and for worse. And the person that created these songs is an unknown superstar named Olivia Rodrigo. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Oh my god, he's such a misogynist. He didn't like the Ghostbusters movie when the entire cast came out of SNL's laundry bin.
Can I ask why no glass?
Oh, yeah, they just kept getting dirty, so I took them out.
Okay, first of all, I actually did not like that movie, and second of all, no, I don't think I'm a misogynist. I think of myself as more of a critic. I don't think that. I'm just a guy with opinions that I want to share in this world, and on this website that I'm sure is going to be successful in a few months or so. You know, I'll give it a year. With that said, I think Olivia Rodrigo is kinda overrated. Now, before I get a load of Sour Patch Kids on my doorstep after confessing that I don't like Sour Patch Kids, I still think she's a remarkable, talented person and has potential that is so vast to comprehend in terms of the music industry and maybe even the Hollywood industry. But what infuriates me is that not only from a human standpoint she sounds incredibly toxic and unforgiving, but the writing in her songs is, in my opinion, not that great. If you don't know the story involved, good for you, haha, intentional pun there, but before we talk about why people even know the name Olivia Rodrigo, let's go a little back, shall we? Olivia Rodrigo was born on February 20, 2003. She started taking vocal lessons and acting lessons at age 6 and started acting in theater productions in elementary school. In 2016, she was cast in the Disney Channel series Bizaardvark, aka the Jake Paul show that no one watched.
Now watch me ride a shopping cart into a brick wall!
She then starred in a show called High School Musical, the series. A show that has a title that ultimately feels like they thought they were gonna have one season, but then they realized that they had the new Taylor Swift as their main star, so they were like, you know what, even if Grammarly finds this title to be incredibly redundant, fine by me. But on January 8, 2021, everything started to change with her debut single, Driver's License. And at the moment I'm recording this video, this song has over 1 billion global streams on Spotify. She also made an album during that time called Sour, which became Spotify's most globally streamed album they've ever had. Rodrigo won 3 Grammy Awards out of 7 nominations, an American Music Awards, 7 Billboard Music Awards, and 4 MTV Video Music Awards. And it doesn't stop there. Time named her the 2021 Entertainer of the Year, with Billboard naming her Woman of the Year in 2022. And oh, she also did a little thing called Meeting the President. How old is she again? What am I doing in my life? Now, in hindsight, this kind of seems like I'm a little jealous of Olivia, and if I'm being completely honest, a little part of me is. But that's not why I think she's overrated, not even close.
You sad?
Yeah, but not in an Olivia Rodrigo write a whole album wishing I could castrate him kind of way.
First of all, I think we need to correct the people that will potentially give me the funniest hate comments to know what the word overrated really means. Alright, let's take a little gander here. Google Dictionary states that the word overrated means rated or valued too highly, which I feel like is a fair assessment of what my opinion is about Olivia, where I think she's incredibly gifted with extraordinary potential, but there's something about a lot of these songs that she's put out in the recent year, to me anyway, are incredibly, similar. But I think we need to have a better understanding of why I'm saying she's overrated with a little story about a blonde girl that pretty much made a career what it is now. So rumors were speculating that Olivia and Joshua Bassett were in a relationship, but then when Joshua and Sabrina Carpenter, aka the blonde girl, because, you know, she's blonde, were hanging out, and then Olivia released Driver's License, which was a song that was written so incredibly obvious, it became a recurring thread of speculation around social media. Because after that, a lot of people thought it was okay to send Joshua and Sabrina a lot of texts that involved harassing them, and giving them death threats, and I mean a lot of death threats. And then I later found out that when Joshua was publicly talking about this, he revealed that he became seriously ill and was hospitalized with septic shock and heart failure.
You know, first they weren't really taking me seriously, and I was trying to tell them, like, you guys, I am not okay. They thought I had COVID or whatever, and I was like, I don't have COVID, because I got tested. I was like, I am not okay. So they got me seen, they ran me through some tests, and the doctors came in and they said, we don't want to alarm you, but we have to let you know you are the sickest patient in the hospital. If you hadn't checked in, you wouldn't have lasted 12 hours, and you have a 30% chance of surviving. And I was like, copy.
Good God. Imagine getting hate for moving on. And throughout the interview, there was a supposed person he was alluding to who didn't even see him in the hospital, and even if the songs weren't directed towards him, we do know why these people have been giving him this trauma and who they're doing it for. So I think it's safe to say that our little superstar didn't even bother to show up to the hospital. Now I think this whole debacle further explains why people just crave gossip. Joshua doesn't deserve the hate he's getting at all, neither does Sabrina. I mean, I bet you that people only like Olivia because they like the drama. Everybody likes drama. Our brains love when terrible things happen to other people because it can give us some internal pride. And people like drama because it's the only thing that's happening in their lives. And even if the feud isn't about Sabrina and Olivia, the perceived drama between them is literally why the song is as successful as it is. Like, let's be truly honest here, and I mean truly honest. If this whole feud never existed, if the whole thing with her, Joshua, and Sabrina was just something that either never existed or maybe it was rarely mentioned, she would probably be continuing her Bizarrevarks and her High School Musical, the 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 musical.
One eternity later.
Like, if her situation with Joshua hadn't happened, I don't think as many people would have really known who she was. Cause let's be honest, nobody really knew her because of Bizarrevark.
Someone please dare me not to cry.
And even though the High School Musical fandom is relatively higher, most people are now tuning in because of this relationship. And the funny thing is, before this heated topic, the show was pretty good. The first season was cute, nothing special, but it had its moments. Season 2 is an utter and pointless disaster. Nothing was resolved, the writing was horrendous, the songs are genuinely the only good thing about this show, so there's that.
Do your celebration thing!
Who talks like that? And what I hate is the fact that this season is just so all over the place, and then out of nowhere we just get this fully fledged Olivia and Joshua story with the whole blonde girl thing and the one song that she made that became the most famous thing in the world while also alluding to a relationship that she's had. You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, see you later on today?
Wait, what's today?
I mean, it's a day ending in the letter Y, so I just kind of hope we be hanging out.
Oh, you.
Ew, pain is everywhere. I don't know, this season felt like it was trying to do so much while achieving so little. Like, the first season was basically one motivation, and that was the whole play thing, and it was good. The second season felt like the writer's room throwing everything across the board, and all of the ideas went into the show without a second draft. It's just that kind of vibe. Olivia Rodrigo sparks me as a very nice person, but because she's most likely seen so many Disney movies, go figure, she's giving this idealized sense of perfection, and one thing that doesn't go her way, she needs to get it out in the world. And in her point of view, I 100% understand getting out something from your system that you've been containing for a while, and using your amazing abilities to let it loose, which is incredibly admirable, but the way you let it out needs to be in a way that can genuinely be emotionally satisfying to you without the cause of speculation, which can lead to mental health declining for your unintentional wrongdoings. I mean, if you think about it, Olivia might have been a really toxic person in the relationship. Like, I feel like she'd be the person that would say stuff like, "You're late," or "Who's that?" or "Was that eye contact I see?" Like, what if every time they fought or something, she would make it seem like it was his fault? I'm just annoyed that ever since Olivia's career took off, Bassett has been seen as the untalented bad guy. even though I'm of the opinion that Joshua genuinely makes the better songs. Yes, it's not her fault that the fans are speculating rumors, but it doesn't hurt to speak up about it or at least support him. Even Selena spoke up when people were organizing a hate train to send to Hailey Bieber. It's sad that people can't be decent, but sometimes telling your fans to stop actually makes them stop. Like, everybody loves Driver's License, and maybe if I didn't know the context, I would probably like it as well. But the fact that the writing is so unbelievably on the nose, and as a matter of fact, like a bad Disney movie that keeps hammering the message of "you left me, you left me." I mean, the lyrics are kind of just really bad. I feel like this song would have been so much better if it was a lot more vague. Because Olivia is kind of just saying that she tried so hard to be perfect for him, but he didn't care and left her anyway. And a lot of people are saying things like, this is storytelling, but to me, it's like, oh my god, you can drive. Does this need like a standing ovation? You can say that it's relatable because it's tying into some teenage girls that have the same feelings, but the issue with that is you're sort of glorifying that. Even though that feeling is just blaming somebody for moving on. But the song that truly cements my argument is Traitor. Sour as an album is like listening to the same song but with different versions. And this is probably my least favorite song on the album. I mean, one of the lyrics is, "Guess you didn't cheat, but you're still a traitor." To who? The closest way I can sympathize is like, he's a traitor to you because you needed more time to cope. And this was such an important relationship or something, but the fact that you're like, how dare you move on? The absolute toxicity behind these songs is what kind of bothers me. And all of the songs are like this, that is, except for Good For You. Now that's a song right there. Even though it's probably talking about Joshua, I mean, who am I kidding? All of the songs are talking about Joshua, but this song is lyrically, musically, everythingly, just an absolute banger. This is a song that conceptually works because of how experimental it is. And the lyrics genuinely seem meaningful and cathartic. To me, if this was the song that kick-started her career and was just a single and that's it, this video would probably not exist. This song was a great example of showing the elements of what she's doing that feel like she's destined for absolute greatness. Honestly, I don't even know what this video is and why I've wanted to make it for so long, but I think it's the idea of all this fame and glory and people applauding and revering you everywhere you go, even though if it weren't for this supposed feud that broke the internet, she would have just been that girl from the High School Musical spinoff with a terrible name and that Disney Channel flop starring Jake Paul. To me, when I listen to Sour, I don't hear a cute little album that was solely based on empowering women. I hear an album that makes people speculate and going from evidence to evidence, which then leads to death threats. But surely at the very least she showed up. Nope. Turns out that she had her like manager or something show up to ask if he was okay. How pathetic is that? All of this kind of just feels like high school. Like whenever you get any good attention or feedback, you just want to continue that train and ride it until it's dry. But I want to point out that I still think she's a new fantastic voice in this industry that in my opinion may be a little lost. Artists are allowed to express their feelings through songs and fans are allowed to support their work. But what fans shouldn't do is hate on anyone who inspired the lyrics for their songs, because cyberbullying can cause so much damage to a person's mental health. And like I said before, it's not entirely Olivia's fault that Sabrina and Joshua get so much hate, and even though she should have spoken up about this, it's the fans' fault for taking her songs too seriously. And you know what? Maybe it wasn't Joshua, but even if it was, with all the things that's happened and from the knowledge that we've been given, you couldn't even show up and say, "Are you alright?"